Hi, in this video we are going to learn how to add a seam to an existing garment in CLO. So I have this dress pattern right here already, and I'm going to add a waist seam. So this is something you could do if you wanted to add a seam to any pattern that you might have, and you can use the exact same technique. So I'm first going to go into my internal line tool because that's how we are going to add this seam. So that internal line tool is located in our 2D toolbar. It looks like that solid shape inside of a rectangle. And I'm going to make sure I'm on my internal polygon/line tool because for a seam, I just want to add a line, not a whole shape. So I'm going to link to the video explaining exactly how to use internal lines here because I'm going to go through it pretty fast right now. But if we just click on anywhere in our pattern, and you can see based on this dotted line right here at my center front, I have linked editing on. So I'm going to leave that on, and I'm going to show you how we can do this with linked editing on, but then also show you how we can do it with it off. So I'm just going to draw the internal line where I want it to be, and then click to finish my line. And you'll see it automatically reflects it onto the other side of my pattern too. So I'm just going to right click on that internal line and choose cut and sew. Now those two pattern pieces are separate. I can pull them apart in my 3D window also. And if I turn on simulation mode, there is now a seam there. So to really see that difference, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to copy this fabric and add a different color to my second fabric and apply that new pattern to my second fabric so you can see it. I'll link also to where I go over how to change colors since I know I went through that really fast with more detail in another video. But now you can see that that is definitely a seam there. And so once that is a separate seam, we can always continue to adjust this pattern. So say I wanted some like gathering there at the waist. Now I'm able to edit those pieces separately just like this. And so I will go rotate to the back of my pattern right now so I can show you the way to do it without linked editing. So I'm going to click 8 on my keyboard to jump to the back. And I'm just going to delete the linked editing. I can either do that by right clicking on my pattern right here and choosing remove linked editing, or I can click on this dotted line right here and just click delete. So now I'm going to go back to my internal line tool and I'm basically just going to do the same thing, but this time I'm just going to go all the way across my pattern. So I could either click at the center back to get that curved line and then continue on and then finish my shape, or I could draw that whole line all in one segment, but it might be a little bit more difficult to get it perfectly symmetric if that's what you want. Without linked editing, of course, we can also create a seam that is not symmetric, so I'll leave that line there. Or if you draw half of a shape, and you'll notice I accidentally clicked a little bit off the edge of the pattern there. I can always fix that in just a second. I'll show you how. But if I wanted to only draw half of my internal line, I can always right click on that and I could choose unfold. And if you're ever creating a internal line and you don't click all the way to the edge of the pattern, but you did want it to go all the way to the edge of the pattern, or you click outside of the pattern and you want to trim it just to keep your pattern really clean, we can always right click on it and choose extend/trim or extend/trim and add point if you want a point there. But it's always best to have as minimal points as possible, just keeps your file small, and do extend/trim to pattern outline. And now that has extended. So I'm just going to delete these two And I'm going to keep this one. I'll choose right click, cut and sew. And I'll apply that piece to our other fabric. So now I have that seam there. So that's how we can create a seam on an existing pattern piece without linked editing, and then also with linked editing and just a couple of edits that you can continue making to it. Thanks.